Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Moses B. Arthur. Like we always do here, this is the hub of constant, consistent value. Over here, one thing that I'm very passionate about is that when you come in contact with the things that we teach here, the nuggets of wisdom, the practicalities of life, the insights into business, and everything that we share on this platform, my joy and my heartbeat is that on this platform, you will be built, you will learn, you'll be transformed, and most importantly, you'll be established so that you can, first of all, become a better version of yourself, and most importantly, for you to win at this thing called life. Today, I'll be sharing with you guys another episode of the Millionaire Mind Mastery series. The feedback from the 11 episodes that we've dropped so far has been amazing. We've received loads and loads of messages from different parts of the world. We've received messages from the United States, from UK, from South Africa, from Nigeria. And for me, my joy when these messages come in every time the team share with me is the fact that by means of the content and the value that we're putting out, a lot of you are having a change in mindset. A lot of you are having a change in perspective about this whole wealth journey and this whole making money journey. And I'm so excited because, like I said in the first episode, when we say poverty is not the absence of financial resources. Poverty is the absence of the right mindset to make money, to maintain money, and to multiply money. And so I'm excited that a lot of you are beginning to have a change in perspective and a change in mindset concerning your approach to making wealth. Today on the Millionaire Mind Mastery series, I present to you something that is very profound, something that I came across as a young man trying to do this thing called life that changed my entire perspective and that changed my entire paradigm. And for me, it's one of the easiest ways to create wealth. It's one of the easiest ways to create wealth. And so today's episode, rich people associate themselves with successful people. Rich people, they associate themselves with successful and positive people. What do poor people do? Poor people associate themselves with negative and unsuccessful people. Rich people associate themselves with positive and successful people, whereas the poor, they usually will associate themselves with negative and unsuccessful people. This is very important for you to understand in your journey of trying to create wealth. Why do I say this? One of the things about the rich is that whenever you are around them, you usually feel motivated, you usually feel enthused, because they are definitely going to, by their actions or inactions, move you into a place where you will gradually begin to think like them. So whenever you've had the opportunity to see things that rich people do, the notion that usually hits you is that if they were able to do it, then you can also do it. If they were able to do it, then you can also do it. Contrary to the rich, when it comes to the poor person, one of the things that the poor person does is that the moment they begin to see rich and successful people, they begin to backbite, they begin to envy, they begin to think and say all manner of things about them. And usually you hear them say things like, oh, forget, it's blood money. Oh, forget, it's scam. Oh, forget, he's doing this. Oh, forget, he's doing that. They would give all the negative connotations as to why the person who is successful and rich should not be moving in that level of wealth. But the truth of the matter is that, guys, life can be so simple. If you are out there criticizing a rich person whom you are ideally supposed to be learning from, do you think that you would actually be able to create something for yourself? Because truth of the matter is that what you dishonor, there is no way you can attract. And so if you are actually sitting in there and then questioning everybody who is rich, I'm not saying that there are people who don't do those stuff to make money, but then if the thought of every rich person clicks you and then the first thing that hits your mind is it's a scam and all of those things, then the problem is your lens of sight, most importantly your perspective and your wisdom on these things. And so it's very important for you to understand, rich people, they always associate themselves with successful and positive people. So the people in your life, I want to ask you a question. First of all, are they negative people? Are they unsuccessful people? Now, in the previous episodes, I've taken time off to teach on the fact that modeling is one of the ways by which you begin to program yourself. So modeling, when you see that a rich person is doing something, you can equally also model after them. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Now, for instance, before I ever relocated to Accra, for those of you that have followed my journey for a long time, one of the things that you realize is that I started my business in Kumasi right after I had completed the university. Even though I grew up in Accra, I went to Kumasi to school. And so I started my business, and I remember whilst in Kumasi, usually I'll come to Accra to come and do rounds for Entrepreneurship Hub Africa. And I had a friend who had a car at the time, and one of the things that I used to do was we would drive to Despite's house, and I'll just make him pack, and I'll just be watching. What was I doing to myself? By principle of modeling, every time I packed there and I watched that house, I felt so motivated, I felt so encouraged. And for me, it was the fact that I've read of, or I've heard of Despite's story that says that he used to work with his chainsaw machine in a town called Riamaso. It broke down and he came to Accra. So I'm looking at the man coming all the way from that place, coming to a city called Accra, coming to one of the most luxurious and expensive places to live in called East Legon, even creating a fitness club for the vicinity. And he came from nothing to where he's been today. That is enough motivation. That is enough encouragement. And did you actually know that you are actually worth the average of 20%, or you are worth 20% the average of 5 of the closest people around you? So my question to you is, the people who are close to you, are they successful people? Are they positive people? Or they are unsuccessful people and they are negative people? It tells on the kind of mindset with which you approach wealth with. And let me give you a caveat over here. Do you know that one of the easiest ways to be able to multiply and create wealth is to find somebody who is a rich person, who has created that wealth, so that he can teach you? For those of you that have been following my real estate journey, it's no secret, and I share it every time I have the opportunity, just in honor and in reverence of the man that's walking me down the path and is walking me down the wealth path after Ubon King had passed, a man called Dr. Stephen Debra. And you all probably have heard me talk about him several times in some of my content. He is the CEO of CPL Group, and they are the ones behind Oasis Park, they are the ones behind One Lux, the Gardens Estate, Belmonte. And literally, I'm prototyping and learning alongside the way of doing real estate just by this man holding my hand and teaching me. And one of the days we're on his construction site, and he said that you are actually doing what we call job shadowing. And so I want you to understand that one of the potential and potent keys for you to creating wealth is to find somebody who has done it, that the person will be willing enough to open their hearts to you and then walk you down the path. Why reinvent the wheel when the wheel is already there? And so it's very important for you to understand this phenomenal thing, and it's very important for you to understand this particular truth when it comes to creating wealth. The Millionaire Mind Mastery series is a series that's focused on helping you change your mindset. It's focused on helping you have a different perspective about this whole wealth journey, about this whole creating money journey, about this whole having resources journey. And I hope that this particular one has blessed you. Before you log off, there's something that I want you to do. I want you to place your hand on your forehead. I want you to place your hand on your forehead and say after me, I model my life after rich and successful people. I model my life after rich and successful people. So like we always do in the comments, bring your name, so say I. So like usually I do, I, Moses B. Arthur, I model myself and my life after rich and successful people. It is very, very important. Say after me, I associate, or comment, I associate my life after rich and successful people. I stay away from negative and unsuccessful people. If you're watching it, I want you to say that declaration to yourself. I've taught extensively right on this channel the power of declaration, and I told you guys it is single-handedly one of the most powerful ways to change your reality and to change your life. And so I hope that this content has blessed you. Go out there, do a self-audit. If 5 of the closest people you have in your space are negative and unsuccessful people, it's about time you do a change. If 5 of the closest people in your space are rich people, then it's about time you keep increasing it. There's something that I always say. When Joseph found himself in the prison, Joseph was intentional in building strategic relationships with people who were once successful, and for one reason or the other had found themselves in the prison with him. So there were people who were once successful because they were people who had access to the then president of Egypt called Pharaoh. And guys, something interesting happens. Joseph, as an active contributor, leveraging his gift. This is why I always tell you as a young person, every gift, everything, every potential you have, it has the power to lift you up if you refine it. So look at Joseph. He had constantly refined his gift of the interpretation of dreams. He interprets a very prominent person who had found himself in prison's dream. Then the next thing is that the person is out of prison. The then president of Egypt has a dream, and then he does not understand. And then the person who was in the prison with Joseph says that, I know a man. I know a man speaks of relationship. I know a man speaks of the right people knowing you. And so some of you listening to me, the problem is not that you don't have money. The problem is that poor and unsuccessful and negative people are the ones who usually say, I know a man. Can you go out there and be so intentional in building relationships with people that when they say, I know a man, it will matter? These guys are the rich and successful ones. They are the ones that will motivate you. They are the ones that will show you the path. They are the ones that will walk you the path. And they are the ones that will make sure that at the end of the day, you are winning with them. I want you to model your life after rich and successful people. I want you to associate your life with rich and successful people, and you'd come back a year from today and thank me for putting out this content. I hope that this one has blessed you. Like we always do here, love and light. My name is Moses B. Arthur. Cheers.